Most Americans hear the words government, shutdown, or tariffs and immediately tune out. It sounds political, temporary, or like something that only affects Washington insiders. But what if I told you these two issues quietly shape your paycheck, your grocery bill, your job security, and even the stock market often long before the headlines catch up? The real economic risk isn't just a shutdown or a tariff itself. It's what happens in the shadows while everyone else is distracted. Let's start with government shutdowns on paper. They look simple. Congress fails to agree on a budget. Parts of the government stop operating, and eventually things reopen, but the economic damage doesn't stop when federal offices close. Hundreds of thousands of workers are furloughed. Government contractors don't get paid. Small businesses near federal buildings lose foot traffic overnight, and consumer confidence quietly takes a hit when people feel uncertain. They spend less. That hesitation ripples through the economy. Retail sales slow down. Businesses see fewer customers. Even industries that seem unrelated begin to feel the pressure. Markets hate uncertainty, and shutdowns inject uncertainty directly into the system. Investors may not panic on day one, but prolonged shutdowns create volatility, especially in sectors tied to government spending like defense, infrastructure, and healthcare. Now layer tariffs on top of that. Tariffs are often sold as a tool to protect domestic industries or punish foreign competitors. But in reality, tariffs function like a hidden tax. Companies importing goods pay higher costs, and those costs rarely stay with the company. They are passed on to consumers through higher prices or to workers through slower wage growth and reduced hiring. Think about everyday items. Electronics, cars, household appliances, even food products rely on global supply chains. When tariffs disrupt those chains, businesses face tough choices. Do they raise prices, cut costs, delay expansion? None of those options are good for economic growth. And when multiple rounds of tariffs stack up, inflation pressures quietly build, squeezing households already struggling with high interest rates and rising living costs. What makes shutdowns and tariffs especially dangerous together is timing. Shutdown threats often emerge during periods of economic stress, while tariffs are frequently introduced during geopolitical tensions. That combination amplifies uncertainty. Businesses delay investments, companies freeze hiring, consumers pull back spending. The economy doesn't crash overnight, it slows down quietly, unevenly, and often without a single moment that feels dramatic. The stock market reflects this dynamic. You may notice sudden dips, sharp rebounds, and confusing mixed signals. Investors struggle to price risk when policy decisions change quickly. Long-term planning becomes difficult. Pension funds, retirement accounts, and 401ks are exposed to this instability, even if you never trade a single stock yourself. There's also a global dimension many people overlook. When the US uses tariffs aggressively or allows shutdowns to drag on, global markets react. The dollar fluctuates. Trade partners respond with retaliatory tariffs. Export-driven American businesses feel the impact first, but the consequences eventually reach domestic consumers as prices rise and jobs become less secure. Perhaps the most underestimated effect is psychological. Repeated shutdown threats and tariff battle erode trust in economic leadership. Businesses thrive on predictability. When policy becomes unpredictable, caution replaces growth. That's when innovation slows, productivity weakens, and long-term competitiveness quietly declines. This doesn't mean every shutdown causes a recession or every tariff destroys the economy. The real danger lies in normalization. When these events happen again and again, their damage compounds. Each episode chips away at stability. Each round leaves the economy slightly weaker than before. So what should everyday Americans take away from this? First, pay attention beyond the headlines. Economic risk often builds slowly, not suddenly. Second, understand that policy decisions made in Washington don't stay in Washington. They show up in prices, jobs, markets, and long-term growth. And finally, recognize that uncertainty itself is a cost, one that everyone pays, even if they never notice it directly. If you want to understand how hidden economic forces shape your financial future without political noise, and without complicated jargon, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We break down the risks most people ignore before they become problems everyone feels. And if you found this video valuable, like it and share it with someone who thinks shutdowns and tariffs don't affect them. Because by the time everyone is talking about the damage, it's usually already too late.